overall, the card was great. I thought the matches seemed a little short in general. I think that was across the entire card. I thought some of the matches seemed a little shorter than I would have liked, but I think I was also just invested in them, and so when they ended, I was like, nah, I want more. So nah, I thought the card was pretty good, man. I think especially with this being the next morning, we should just get straight into talking about the final match first. What do you think?
I guess I'll just sum it up by saying, it was a grueling back and forth that ultimately led to a bunch of sleepers, right? By Gunther over and over again. And I think we pretty much all knew what we were going to get. Everybody's mad at the way that it ended. I don't think it's that John Cena lost, but the way he lost.
Yeah, man, I think I I actually enjoyed the match. I thought the match told a story, which is exactly what I would have wanted out of like John Cena's final match. Gunther, of course, coming in being the big heel, just everyone hated him. Damn the boos he was getting from the crowd when he came out. Um, Nobody, either people didn't want him to be the final match, or people don't like him in general, or people don't like him because he's the bad guy. And either way, everybody in that arena was going to boo him. There was not going to be any like someone cheering the one way or someone cheering the other way. And ultimately, with that being said, I think he was the right choice, man. I think he was the right choice for the final match. We kind of knew he was going to be that way anyways, but like people still mad that he was it. John was already going to make everyone cheer for John, but could they get everyone to boo for the other guy? So Gunther was the right choice in that aspect.
Um, some stuff that I noticed throughout of it. First, I thought it was you could just tell it was a special night. I mean, from the opening scenes to the very end, it was loud. Like it felt like a really rowdy hardcore wrestling crowd, and I think it's cool because it was such an important event that it was like a PLE importance, but it was just a regular Saturday night main event, and it was at a regular arena. So I feel like people were just that much more louder in a closed space, and it just seemed like a really huge moment. I thought it was funny. The first botch of the night did not come from John Cena or Gunther, but came from the production truck when John Cena comes out and takes the camera from Stu, and it was like obviously he wanted to have like a little moment where like he puts the camera on him for once, right? And then the production team just kind of like goes away from that camera and barely puts it on him like right at the end for like a split second. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was like, man, John wanted Stu on camera. Stu was like, ah, this is my moment, and they cut him. It was it was abrupt, but I don't, yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely noticed by more than just the two of us, but that was funny.
I noticed it right
Um,
away, and I had mentioned it to my wife. But yeah, I guess I'll kind of go through this a little bit. We could just trade off minute by minute, so we're not going too long here. But I kind of like how he came out. He took a moment to hug all the old friends and legends that were in the crowd. When Gunther comes out immediately, right? It's a sea of like assholes and "F you Gunther" chants, which is pretty much to be expected. We're in Washington, D.C. I loved everybody yelling "You tapped out" to Gunther in the beginning.
I thought it was perfect, and that's kind of my deal with the whole match. Whether I felt a certain way about it entirely, I thought it was the exact moment that John Cena wanted it to be. And I think for it being that emotionally, like I thought it was all kind of perfect. Him coming out and getting to hug the legends was awesome. Seeing Kurt Angle there was really cool. You know, you get that shine back to his first moments and stuff that we'd seen. And then yeah, Gunther coming out. The entire match was just FU Gunthers. Like the you could tell they were having to bleep it out just pretty much constantly. But it was it was perfect, man. Him getting all those boos was exactly what we needed.
Yeah, I mean, once the match got started, it was a pretty simple match, whether you liked it or not. Gunther did a lot of chops, he did a lot of clotheslines, he did a lot of sleepers, he did a lot of H bombs, and Cena did the moves we would expect him to do. a few times, and that was pretty much all she wrote. But Cena was dominated the first few minutes of the fight, and yeah, Gunther was just dominating with those clotheslines and those pins while I mean, those chops while the FU chants continued. Cena did eventually get like a second win, hit him with the same finishers again, but after the five knuckle shuffle again and some shoulder bumps, he kind of puts the first sleeper on Cena. And I think everybody kind of thought like, oh, great, here we go. The booze started getting really loud, and for a second, I think everybody got really excited when Cena quickly reverses it and gets Gunther in his own sleeper at the time.
Yeah, man, it was just a good, well-paced back and forth, especially toward the first two-thirds of the match, I would say. Was just them going back and forth, kind of trading moves. We know that Gunther's not going to go too far out of his wheelhouse when it comes to his moves, and we kind of know that Cena's not going to go too far out of his wheelhouse. Not in this match. We got to see that already with AJ Styles, and I think that was what was keeping this match special. Is like we're going to see them play back and forth off each other, but it was the emotions on their faces and like Cena just playing it to the crowd, uh, and everyone knowing like this is it. This is the last time he's going to be in there. So, wow, it's going to be those same handful of moves. Like it makes each one of them more meaningful. And yeah, I didn't really do too much of a move play by play. I fully intended to rewatch the match back. I just didn't get a chance to last night. So I didn't get too much of the play by play on the moves, just kind of the way the match was making me feel through it. So if you want to keep going on it, go
I
for it.
mean, it was a lot of the stuff we think we would see from Cena. My favorite moment was probably his AA from the top of the steel steps onto the announcer table. I think that'll be
Hmm.
like a legendary kind of like spot that we'll remember and see photos of for a while. He also had that leg drop from the top turnbuckle where the fans were yelling out "You still got it" chants at him. That was pretty cool. And then obviously we had the really emotional moment where Cena announces to the crowd his last ever five knuckle shuffle, right? He looks at everybody, says, "Hey, it's the last one. Do it with me, right? Do it as loud as you can." And it kind of all goes downhill right from there. In the middle of it, everybody's chanting. Gunther gets up, interrupts it, and bam, it all ends. We get that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth sleeper right away when everybody's yelling, "Don't give up." About 20, 25 minutes into the match, when everybody's yelling Super Cena. Um, Everybody's thinking we're gonna get Super Cena one more time, and it does not happen, man. We get John Cena tapping out. I will say I felt bad for Cena just kind of sitting in the ring after a long career and all the fans just yelling bullshit. He did calm them. I think it was like a sea of bullshit chants immediately calmed down by Cena's kind of gestures.
Yeah.
That turned right into like thank you Cena chants, and I think a true it was a very intense atmosphere from there on, I felt like, and you could tell that fans were struggling. It was like a lot of hardcore fans, and I think half were really mad and half were like trying to get over it and enjoy the last few moments of Cena. But yeah, we basically got Cena tapping out. He gives up at the end. It's not the first time he's ever tapped out. I remember when I stopped watching wrestling, I think I saw him tap out one time to Chris Benoit, right around like the last year or two that I was watching.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's important to call out that it wasn't his first time tapping. He had tapped to Benoit, and I think I'd seen it reported. He had tapped to Angle a couple of times before too. It was like all 15 plus years ago the last time he had tapped though. So it's been a long run since then. But you were calling out those couple moves though that he did, and yeah, I thought the build up to him getting dropped through that the announce table was pretty good. I was even talking to my wife about it then when Gunther was setting it all up. I'm like, yeah, Gunther's not going to put him through it. I'm like, he's going to get him. We're going to see an AA through the table, and like all shoot. Gunther is going to be so happy that he got to be AA'd through a table by John Cena. It's like he got to have the last match, but he got to at least get put through a table or something by him. Like he gets to add that onto his little bucket list. That's a moment that was just for Gunther and the crowd. But I thought that was awesome. The leg drop off the top rope, man. I thought that was a cool move that was outside the wheelhouse that we haven't seen from him in a very long time. And also, I think that was kind of, to me, it seemed like it was kind of a callback to like Hogan Andre, like fucking Hogan getting the leg drop on him. And that's kind of what it made me feel like. It was that old school just finisher that didn't end up panning out. And the back and forth with the chokes, I thought okay, so in the moment, I thought that it might have went back and forth a few times too many. But each time it did, you could feel that crowd just like holding their breath. And then he would get out of it, and you could feel everyone breathe. And then Gunther would get him again, and everyone would hold their breath. And it's like, it was exhausting to watch. And it's like, and so you could feel how exhausted Cena must be, that even though he could have, at the very end, powered out of that again, he knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. And he gave up. And it wasn't just he tapped. I think that there should be that distinction there because, like, it wasn't him tapping to the move. The move was too painful. He was about to black out. That's not what happened, man. Cena just gave up. And at the end, everyone has to. I think it was like the perfect end. Like, he knew this was his last match. He knows that this is the end, and that is kind of giving up because he can't. If it was the end that he truly wanted, he wouldn't be going out at all. He said as much in interviews. People keep going, well, it's great that you're getting the end that you want. It's great that you're getting the getting to write the end of your story. And he's like, man, if I had the option, I wouldn't be quitting. He didn't want to quit. He has to quit because his body just isn't going to be able to hold up in the long term. Like, you don't want to see him out there broken and slow and everything. Like we thought we were getting when he was doing the heel turn, where he was wrestling a little slower and a little more methodical and everything. And we're like, he doesn't still have it, just for him to prove us all wrong when it came to SummerSlam in the later half of the year, for him to go, no, you do still got it. And he has said like that was because he was giving everything that he had left. Like, there was nothing left for him to give. He gave it all to us. And I think that was after the match. I mean, you see that last smile on his face when he does tap, like, and it wasn't a tap out of desperation. It was just three soft taps on the arm. He was like just done. I thought it was poetic as hell. Um, so while I think a lot of people were really upset at the way it ended, I think that as those feelings and that acceptance kind of kicks in another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think the memories of those moments in the match are still going to last, and that's going to be the true legacy of his final match.
Yeah, one thing you are telling the truth about is people are definitely very mad. I think everybody thinks it would have been a lot more poetic if John Cena just kind of like went out on his shield and did not tap out, but instead just, passed out. There was rumors going around before the match that possibly this match was going to open. I don't know who started those rumors, but there's no chance in hell that they would have been able to open with this match because it would have been chaos after half the people would have left. Nobody would have watched the other ones. Like, it would have been,
There would have been no show afterwards. It would
yeah,
have
it would have
just
been a
been that
mess.
match. Like, that would never have worked. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like, I think the only way maybe a show after that could have worked is if he had won. But I think everyone already knew, man, that's not the way John wanted to go out. He wanted to go out old school way of putting over. And man, if they did, because everyone is so angry, they just set Gunther up to be one of the biggest heels for a very, very long time. He is going to be so unanimously hated. He is going to get booed out of the building every time he walks in. And when he walks in on Monday at Raw, it is going to erupt in that arena, wherever that is. They really did do this because for the next 10, 15 years of Gunther's career before he retires, we're gonna see him just embrace that full. He retired Goldberg. He made John Cena tap. He made LA Knight tap. He made Jey Uso tap a couple times. He like think of everything that they had Gunther do this year, and he was still out for a good later part of this year. They built Gunther this year, and he was already a big heel before this. But they really cemented him as a top of the main roster heel. And I think that is where Gunther's going to go in 2026. We're going to see him be that main roster heel to counterpoint these baby faces that are going to need to get over on him. And eventually someone is, and it's going to mean that much more when it does.
I think fans are just mad because the way it happens, right? I think John Cena exposed a lot himself in the last weeks with these interviews. We know that there is at least 17 cities where there were shirts and stuff made up that he wanted to go to that didn't happen. We know that there was pivots that happened the entire time. And all of that are business decisions. All of those are creative decisions. Those aren't John Cena decisions. I think that John Cena has always said, they're going to tell me what to do, and I'm going to do it the best way possible that I can. We've heard him say, they're going to tell me what to do, and I just want the creative to be able to do it the way I want to. And I think that that's exactly what we got. And unfortunately, I think that that's why fans are even more upset. I think that he was going to lose. I think that he was able to do it his way. And I think he wanted to give that last smirk, which I think if you're a real John Cena fan, I think you should be happy with it. And I think you should say, hey, this is how he wanted to go out. He wanted to wink. He wanted to say goodbye. He wanted to show, that's it. I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm giving up. I'm out. Next man up. It's not my time anymore. But I think for the fans, you know that you're frustrated with the tour. You know that you're frustrated with the way that the last few matches have gone. You know that the worst case scenario is that he loses, but then you're going to have him lose to tapping out. But then on top of that, it's not even going to look like he needed to tap out. It's going to look like, all right, guys, the sayonara, that's it. That's all she wrote. And I think that there was a big shift last night. I think that the last two matches of the year, we're able to see fans leaving the show frustrated. The one that I went to in Survivor Series, the second to last major show of the year, it was just people were annoyed at the end. Like, what the hell was that? And
Yep.
people were going away mad, and the matches were short. And by the time everybody comes out to War Games, there's like 10 minutes left. Like, what the hell? And all these hours, and you only have four matches. And you could tell the frustrations when people were leaving. Same thing over here. And what I will say is this: no matter what side of the coin you're on, often a lot of the people, media, just people talking, always talk about it doesn't matter what we say online because go to the show. What do you see when you go to the show? Do you see people mad when you go to the show? No, you see them happy eating. But that's not what we saw the last two major shows. So I think you can put your faith in whatever side of the coin you want, but I definitely think it was a hardcore fan situation, and I think that their frustration showed. I think it's a unique night that's not going to happen every time, and it goes with the way of the culture and things that are happening right now. But I think that they did him a little dirty. They could have done him better, but I don't care. It is what it is. It's next man up. And let me tell you this to kind of summarize it. It had a lot of undertones to me of the last ever Oakland A's game that I went to. Everybody knows it's over. It's the last ever game at the Oakland Coliseum. Everybody hates the owner, John Fisher, for selling the damn team and taking him to Vegas, and they're going to be playing in Sacramento. Everybody's there. Everybody knows they're going to be there, but everybody hates it. And it was crying, it was anger, it was everything. That's exactly how it reminded. And at the end of the day, you don't have to watch the A's anymore, or you can follow them to Sacramento. It's your choice, but it is what it is. And it just kind of felt like next man up. Let's keep moving on. And I think Triple H and WWE definitely stepped into the shadows of like, well, we're just gonna have to take on the hate and step into the light with it, you know?
Yeah, I think that was especially true in the post show. As I say, we talked about it a little bit before we hit record, but I just touch a little on it now, man. Triple H was really leaning into the hate in the post show. Um, he he was antagonizing the crowd, saying, "Oh, I thought you guys would be a little bit louder than that," when they're just booing him. You could hardly hear the commentators and stuff. So yeah, I think Triple H and WWE is going to lean into this. I think they're going to lean into the heel rule that they have booked themselves into. And I I think maybe that was the goal all along. Maybe they're just playing into it because of the hate now. But I think either way it goes, we're going to see where that's going to head. And I think it might be a little beneficial because we're going to get some people that are going to be shooting on the company. We're going to get some people that are going to be fighting the man, and that always ends up being a good story. Stone Cold versus McMahon, CM Punk versus the man in the back room. Like it always plays into something that the fans end up loving. So I think we're gonna see where 2026 takes us out of all this. But there was a couple other things in that post show that I thought were pretty funny though. Jay Uso was the first person to pop up. Did you get to see him?
I only watched Triple H's portion of the post show, but I did see the viral thing going around of his comments.
Yeah, it was when the show first popped up, he was still leaving the ring there. Cody was still out there as well, but Jay had just got done leaving. I guess he was asking if Cody was okay because Cody was very emotional out there, but Jay was just saying he didn't believe it. He doesn't think John's done. There's no way that he's done. He just left those raggedy ass Skechers out there in the in the ring. He's like those aren't even a good brand. Uh, he was just kind of uh, making light of it all. So I think trying to kind of raise the spirits just a little bit and to show that, they're going to go celebrate now. They're going to go celebrate the career of John Cena. While it's a very emotional end of one thing, John's not dead. He's very much still going to be a part of WWE. He's just not going to be in the ring anymore. And I think that's a really big distinction. It seems like right now, a lot of people feel like the character is dead. And it's like the character might be, but the person that was playing him isn't. So I think it's going to end up feeling okay after a while of, time heals all wounds, some people say, but I think it's going to end up being okay. And then they had Cody on there a little bit too, and The Miz and Punk came out and stuff, and all of them were basically. I mean, Cody was very much emotional at ringside, talking about how this is kind of like an end of an era, and how much John meant to him, and you could tell that he was standing there right at the edge of the ring, just kind of staring at the sneakers sitting in the ring, and um, thinking about how at least John got to have an end in ring, whereas there's a lot of guys that weren't. So who knows what he was really thinking, but you could tell he was having a very introspective moment. And then they had like Mike. Mike came out, not the Miz. He wanted to make sure that people weren't out there thinking that he was going to be the character of the Miz at the moment. He very much Mike came out there and talked about John and how John always was in the back room, and Punk came out and was given Cena his flowers, and it was a pretty cool post show up until that Triple H moment. Everyone was really booing at that point, but up to that was very much just people kind of coping.
Yeah, a
But
couple of things that I wanted to say about the post was I think my favorite moment was when Triple H walks out and everybody's flipping him off, and he does that little comment where he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize there's so many Tribal Chief fans out here with
I
all the
loved
weapons
that.
here." That
And,
was
I think Big E was like, "Ah, it's a different finger," I think,
yeah.
and he
They all
just
start
kind of laughs
laughing.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I
classic.
loved how much he played into it.
And um and then I don't know if you've seen the clip of Bailey with CM Punk where John Cena loses. Right when he loses, Bailey just is super pissed, bro. She gets
Yeah.
up and you could just see her visibly upset. And another thing I wanted to say was just Triple H made history, man. I mean, John Cena said it best. Of every buck I want to make you guys 10. He really did. And us Bay Area sports fans, we've really been shit on the last few years. We lost the Raiders, we lost the A's, and even though there's a huge hole and a lot of fans don't watch the sports anymore, and it really is a big deal. That this will be a big deal. People will not watch wrestling anymore. I guarantee you. Number one, just because John Cena is leaving and they're already sticking around for their heroes. And when people feel like it's not the same thing anymore, they move on. That's why I did for so many years. And no matter what, as mad as I am, the Raiders are bringing in more revenue than ever before in Vegas, even though half the people are not their fans. Same thing's going to happen with the A's. And that's the era that we're in with WWE right now. It's a very corporate mode. We're in the big leagues now. Sometimes I like to call it the big league era. Um, and they made history. This is going to be remembered like when Brock Lesnar beat the streak of Undertaker. This is going to be remembered like some of your least favorite matches that you've seen before that made you feel emotional. They had everybody in that stadium with every emotion that they could have had, and you put it 100% right when you said they took way too long with the back and forth. But that's what the whole match was. The whole match was the most simple moves that Gunther and John Cena does that we're going to see them do in every match. And then it was just the anticipation and the back and forth followed by the heartbreak. So they did an absolute amazing job of getting everybody bought into the palm of their hands where we knew they were going to have us and pulling on every emotion that they knew they were going to do. And ultimately, that's what the WWE does right. Sometimes they send us home happy. Most of the time, they send us home mad. But every time we go home, we know we're going to walk right back the next day. And everybody will not walk back this time. But, I haven't watched MLB for like a whole season because I'm so mad about the situation. It took me 2 years to go to the Raiders Stadium when they left. But eventually I came back, and I'm just happy he's not one of my heroes. So I'm not taking it that big of a deal. But they definitely made history tonight for sure.
Yeah, man. I think, and I think I've even heard John say it, but all they really want is for you to feel something. If you're feeling something, then they did their job. Whether it's anger, sadness, happiness, like celebration, they want you to feel something. Apathy is the only thing they don't want you. They don't want you to feel nothing. So the fact that every person walked out of there feeling something, they did their job. They told a story. They told a story that made you feel. And I think they did that through and through, man. I don't think there was a dry eye in that place, probably. After the montage and them having everyone come out and them standing in the ring and them keeping a camera on John so you can watch John watch his montage. I thought that was great. I think that was a really good decision. Because if they'd have just full screened the montage for us at home and not given us John reacting to his montage, because he didn't know what he was going to see. I don't think he knew what was going to be in that video package at all. So I think it was kind of cathartic getting to see him react to it, getting that last moment of him in the ring and then him walking off, giving that one final salute. All of that was for us. That was for the fans as much as it was for him. Getting to do it that one last time, and you could really tell, man. I thought Cody and Punk putting the belts on him one last time was awesome too. That was a really cool moment from both of them, and you could tell John didn't expect that either. That was a genuine reaction from John. So I think there were a lot of moments in there in that final bit that helped is going to help the healing begin. But
I don't know.
ultimately, with that, man, um, I think that was about it for the final match. Let's get into the rest of the card. What do you think?
But no, I was gonna say I definitely understand the frustrations, but I think people also have to understand that the WWE is no longer just run by like one entity, you know what I mean? It's run by TKO, and they've messed up, all of my favorite sports like boxing and everything over the last few years with Saudi Arabia. So what
Yeah,
do I don't know what people expect, and I think Triple H is the last man and the buck stops with him. So be mad at him for creative. I think it makes 100%. I think he's a piece of crap, and I think he's doing what he wants to do, but he's making smart business decisions. They squeezed every dollar that they could out of John Cena. They put Dominic Mysterio over by giving him the belt. They put Cody Rhodes over more than he already was by giving him a real champion on his notch. They I mean, Gunther, I think it's going to make him powerful, but I don't think anybody's going to really care. I think they're just going to hate him. And for everybody that was in the post show yelling at Triple H, we want Vince, we want Vince. I mean, how quickly you guys forget Vince McMahon and how he did Kurt Angle, right, with Corbin. So it's the same thing, man. It's just wrestling. I think overall, the year and the shape of the year is his fault ultimately, but um, it is what it is. And overall, it was a decent. I don't think it was anything great. It was just it was the last match. I don't know if you want to do it now or another time, but I would like to list like our top three favorite John Cena matches of the year, possibly. But I give this one overall a C minus.
Yeah, man, I think just because of the way the match made me feel, um, and the emotions attached to the match as well, I gave it a B. I think that there were some things that could have been done better with the match, but ultimately it was the match they wanted to have. So I'm not going to shit on it. I gave it a B. That was where I ended with it. And I do want to say you were calling out to the fans that were chanting, "We want Vince, we want Vince." Uh, wait for the next year because I think we might be turning Triple H into Vince. So uh, I think we're gonna get that Mr. McMahon character out of Triple H. And hey, that'd be cool if we saw Triple H back in the ring at least once. Maybe not to take some moves, but to take some hate from the crowd some more.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
sure we'll get to see that eventually. Year by year, we'll see stuff from the playbook coming out,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Let's move on to the beginning of the card then, man. I think the night popped off with Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi. Uh, I thought it was a great intro. I thought the crowd was really behind Oba. I think there were definitely some we want like the Cody Rhodes chants out there, but Oba had a large portion of that crowd cheering for him,
yeah, Oba Femi is a star, man. He should already be in the main roster.
bro.
I'm kind of already fantasy booking what I want. Like I kind of want to jump ahead, but I guess maybe I'll wait. I'll wait till the end before I fantasy book the next 3, 4 months. But first match of the night, crowd was super hype. Like I said, it just felt like a special event. You knew it was all hardcore fans, man. Oba comes out, everybody's doing the chants, everybody knows what to do when, and it just felt
Mhm.
like it was an authentic wrestling crowd. And I was shocked when I went to Survivor Series at how loud some parts were compared to other parts. For example, John Cena and Dominic Mysterio. Man, I've never been somewhere where it was that loud at a wrestling event. At the same time, right after that, when they had Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer, I was shocked that I spent this much money to be at a PLE and it was this dead. This match, it felt like it was like off the bat, the whole night was just going crazy. And Oba, man, a lot of crazy backbreakers, elbows from the outside. Cody sold it, everything really good as well. But Oba had a lot of good spots. It just felt like a big Oba promo to me until Drew attacked it. But I really liked it, and I think this just showed like Oba Femi needs to get there like now.
Yeah, man. I wasn't sure when he hit that uppercut on the outside that knocked Cody over the table. It was right after that we saw that like Cody was busted open.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really sure if it was like a popped eardrum or something. I think it was literally just a cut on Cody's ear. I think Cody's ear just got cut or busted
Mhm.
open or right next to it. So that was where the blood was all coming from. But man, that was quite the visual, though. Cody all bleeding and busted open. That was definitely not planned. Um, when he popped over that table. And yeah, I wasn't sure when Cody went was kind of wobbly when he got back in the ring. Of course, that was just him selling, but I was like, man, what if he did bust his eardrum and then Cody jumps up for that freaking super cutter? And I was like, nah, he's fine. Like he's gonna be good. There were some great spots back and forth with that dude. Oba looked super strong, and I think that was kind of part of the night too. John wanted to showcase the newer talent with these matches. He wanted to showcase these exhibition matches. And I think these exhibition matches, whether it was a win or a loss on either side, I think they were really purely there to put over the new talent. So we got to see Cody really selling for Oba and put on one hell of a match to start the night off. And we kind of called the McIntyre run in. I figured it was going to happen. I didn't think that the WWE was going to have either Cody or Oba eat a loss here. Even though I think Cody probably could have, and I don't know that it really would have hurt him that much because of what a force they already made Oba look like at that point in the match. I think if Oba had just come out and squashed Cody, then of course that would have looked like horrible. But I think after the match that they already had up to that point, if Oba would have got the win on Cody, I don't think it would have looked out of place. I don't think it really would have hurt Cody in the long run, and I think it would have set up Oba even more for the main roster. But with that being said, we wouldn't have got the cutter and choke slam on McIntyre. I think my only thing that kept me from giving that even a better score for the match was that I really wanted to see Oba hit McIntyre with his fall from grace power bomb. That would have been dope, but I'll take the choke slam because he got McIntyre up there, and we already know what McIntyre is, a giant guy. So having him stand toe to toe with Oba was really cool. And dude, go for it for your fantasy booking now.
Yeah, so I'll do that right at the end, but just WWE did a great job of picking the exact talent that should have been showcased in this show. And particularly with Soul and particularly with Oba, I mean, I think they're both ready to be in there now. Like you said, ultimately Drew came and got the match DQ'd. Bad stuff. I don't think anybody was disappointed in this actual match. I think we all want to see more, but bad stuff was for sure the length of the match was just way too short. And I just think sloppy booking, man. Like, I think you put it best. There would have been nothing wrong with Cody Rhodes eating a loss for an exhibition match. Like, and even if he wasn't going to, Drew could have interrupted way later on. It could have been way longer, man. These matches were too damn short. That was ultimately what ruined this. Way too short. Let him interrupt to get somebody the L. That way, it's like already, like you said, it's not going to be that bad if Cody eats the L. Plus, we know that's what's coming up next is Cody Drew, whether we want it or not. Plus, on top of that, if he gets the L because of Drew, it's more powerful. Instead, we got him cutting it short, way too short. Nobody takes the L. Both champions are protected. It's just too easy. It's just too sloppy. It's just not creative enough for me. And lots of fans were pissed. You could tell right when they were done tossing around Drew McIntyre and Cody and Oba kind of get up and look at each other again, and you could tell, oh, they're not going to go after each other anymore. They're going to kind of have respect right now. A lot of people were booing, and that was the first time of the night we got to see, oh, we have a rowdy crowd that's going to let us know how they feel tonight. Eventually, Cody Rhodes gets stuff together as he does as the champ, right? He gets them together, lifts up the hands, and everybody ended up showing respect for both champions and the excitement for the future. I am super hyped for Oba and Cody. I'm pretty sure that I'm wrong, but we did get like a little teaser. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'm super hyped up for Drew McIntyre versus Oba Femi, and that is my favorite part of this. I really want Drew and Cody to be done with this beef at the next Saturday night main event. I really want Oba Femi to be one of the exciting people that comes out in the Royal Rumble, and that be his entrance into WWE. And I really want him and Drew McIntyre to have beef at that Royal Rumble. And then I think that would be really cool if that's the intro and the first beef that we have between Oba and Drew for his entrance into WWE. So that's going to be my fantasy booking for it. And I'm going to give this match a C. Way too short for me to give it like super high grade. And I was really happy with what I saw, but I'm not happy with the way that it happened or with the length of the match. Cheap way to end it, but great overall.
Yeah, I would agree. I gave it a B minus just because I loved the match in general. But yeah, I thought it was a little too short. And with that being said, looking at the whole night, because I kind of said that about most of these matches, I thought Bailey and Solruka also a little bit too short, and I thought Javon and Leon versus Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, um, as much as it was also, I don't know, that match was just awesome. But uh, I'm not sure the following segment, of course, we got with The Miz and R Truth. Um, I wonder how much that was planned into the night already, or how much of that might have been like last minute, that whole segment.
Yeah, let's get
Because
into that.
I think that if they added that segment into the show so that they could get The Miz, R-Truth, and of course Joe Hendry, I think that maybe if they added that segment in later in the way they were booking the show, that it may have taken minutes from the prior three matches. And that might be why all three of those matches, at least to me, seemed a little more rushed. However, I think that can fall onto WWE because I don't know how many freaking commercials and the same John Cena segments in between the matches that I saw multiple times. I think they could have cut out of those and they should have made those matches longer to fill that space because I would not have wanted to see that Miz R Truth Joe Hendry segment get cut either because I loved it.
I actually do think it was planned 100%. I think if things went really, really long and something went off the rails, we probably wouldn't have gotten it. But they're giving us way few matches in these events, and I think that they know that they're going to have time for it. And I think it was the perfect way to tie things up. We got to see Ron Cena one more time. There was a lot of rumors about Joe Hendry coming in, and I do believe that um, the WWE likes to have multiple options. I do believe that Triple H has a bit of an ego. And I believe that they like to stick it to the fans a lot when they say different things when he does come out. And I do believe they wanted to throw us for a loop. So we all thought Joe Hendry was going to come out, and we didn't get Joe Hendry come out. But here you go. We're still going to get him, right? With these little Easter eggs tying everything together. And I think that they did a really good job of tying it together with Ron Cena, with Joe Hendry. We get to see The Miz. And I just want to give The Miz a shout out. I mean, him, Bailey, Cody, but in particularly Bailey and The Miz, and I know we're talking about this Miz segment. He really got good looks, man. I think he looked great with Javon Evans on Friday Night SmackDown. I think he really put him over. Did his job as a veteran. It was a super fun dynamic, and then we got to see him again working with a more young talent alongside Ron Cena with Joe Hendry, and I think it just made The Miz look better. I think that it made us remember why we love The Miz so much. And I think he's doing a great job working with the young talent. And that funny ass thing that was going around social media where he's talking about John Cena only being a one time, what is it called? A one time
Grand Slam champion, but
Grand
he's
Slam
got two.
champion. But
He's
he's
like,
like,
if the goat retired with one and I've got two, what does that make me? I
yeah,
love
yeah.
it,
So
dude. I love it.
typical Miz. But I thought it was really fun. And I did enjoy that spot a lot. And I'm really happy that they added it in.
Yeah, man. I wanted to go over that entire spot kind of piece by piece because I loved it so much. How it tied the whole tournament kind of into it. All of that. It tied our truth and his balls and Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis's balls getting inappropriately handled by the Miz. I thought it tied all of it together hilariously. And I even want to say, because you were giving the Miz a shout out, man. I agree. I think it was giving Miz some really good looks, and I think that the tournament in a whole did that. I think a lot of people were upset with the LA Knight Miz match, not because it was the Miz, but because we'd already seen the Miz once and we wanted someone else. We wanted a bigger thing. But honestly, if you look back at it, them giving the Miz a match with Jey Uso, them giving the Miz a match with LA Knight, them giving the Miz that match with Javon Evans, them giving the Miz this match. They are putting over the Miz on this John Cena tour, even though the Miz didn't get that match with Cena. So I think it was maybe a little of a consolation prize for him, but I'm happy to see it because the Miz is awesome. No pun intended, and it was really cool, man. But yeah, having the Miz coming out there right off the bat, he's cutting a promo in the ring, still wanting that shot at John, still saying he should have been on this show. And we're like, it's almost a little bit of a shoot segment. He's out there mad. He's wearing the coat from the WrestleMania that he pinned John Cena, which I thought was pretty cool. Him wearing the gear, just for our truth to kind of run out and say that he saw the footage, he saw what he did, He saw him doing something inappropriate with Aldis's balls, and you stole the chance of this person, and he's holding the ball out there just for the Miz to snatch it up and kind of open the paper up, and you can see through the paper and you can read backwards who's on it. And he kind of mouths it and then says the name out loud just for Joe Hendry's music to hit, man. I thought it was an awesome segment. I thought those were three of the perfect people to be involved in it too, especially for Joe Hendry's gimmick of it being a more comedic gimmick. You've got the Miz and R-Truth there to really sell the comedy of it along with Joe Hendry, and I think it made that moment that much bigger for Joe Hendry to be involved in this John Cena retirement show. Um, I thought R-Truth doing the dance as his music was playing and stuff was hilarious. Joe getting to do that fall away slam, and then him and Truth hitting the double five knuckle shuffle was super cool. That was a great spot. I'm sure there's going to be a Tops Now card for that moment, and I will definitely buy it. And yeah, then him getting the standing ovation and the pin in a not a match, but he still gets the pin. And 1, 2, 3, R-Truth counts it out, and Joe Hendry gets the impromptu win in the not an official match against the Miz, which I thought was super cool. And actually, the Miz and Joe Hendry. Um, every live show earlier in the year during the European tour, I think it was in the lead up to Clash at Paris. The Miz and Joe Hendry were actually working the live show dark matches. And I had seen clips of those online. So I thought that was cool that the Miz got to have that moment with Joe Hendry on the show on televised live television. So, dude, I loved that segment. I give the segment an A.
Yeah, they definitely did Miz right here. They give him a lot of bad looks pretty often, and he's always down like a company man. So they definitely did him good here. The whole getting getting unked by Javon Evans on Friday, working over here with Joe Hendry and everybody. They really set him up for some good looks, and I think everybody enjoyed it. And yeah, it wasn't an official match, but how many official matches were really there that night? So it may as well be just as valid as any other match that was there. So so yeah, I didn't grade that one just because it's a segment, but I guess I'll give the segment like a B or something, B plus. If I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
Moving
enjoyed it. It made me feel good, so I'm happy.
For sure, man. All right, moving on. We had what ended up being my match of the night, at least, was Bailey versus Sol Ruka. I really did like this one. I noticed there was like one little botch somewhere where I think Bailey was lifting Sol Ruka, and I don't know, it just looked like it didn't work or something, and they just kind of like flopped over. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it looked like Bailey was trying to get her up into like a fireman's carry or something, and maybe the weight just shifted a little off, and they kind of worked it. But they professionals, man, because they worked straight off of that spot, and I was like, was that planned? Was that not? It looked like a botch, but yeah, I thought they played it off really, really well. And on the entrance, though, just to call out Soul coming out with Zarya, I think I heard Wade Barrett kind of mention it, but just because I do watch NXT a lot more, it was catching me off guard because for the last couple of weeks, Zarya and Sol Ruka have kind of been beefing. Their tag team has broken up a little bit. They haven't been talking. Zarya, it looked like, tried to spear Sol Ruka after the end of the Iron Survivor match, where she ended up catching Kendall Gray instead. But everyone was kind of questioning, like, that looked like that spear was meant for Sol Ruka before she got shoved out of the way. So seeing Zarya come out with Sol Ruka and them kind of looking like everything's okay, I don't know how much of that is going to be played in story wise or how much of that was just so that Zarya could come out and be out there for that moment. But it hit me a little off and it made me a little uneasy at the beginning of the match. But yeah, dude, I thought the match started off great too.
Hey man, well if you're not happy with creative, you can kick rocks and stop watching the product. At least that's what the game Triple H will say. But anyways, no, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Zarya, but I don't watch NXT, so maybe that's why. I'm assuming Sol Ruka is another one that needs to be in the main roster like now. She's great. I love it. I'm ready to buy a Soul Snatcher shirt. I'm bought in 100%. Let's run it. Again, she was working with Bailey. Bailey again had a they make Bailey's character look so weak, and she is like the epitome of like a company person, you know what I mean? She does whatever they want them to do, but she's always there, she's always busy, and she's great promotion for like what it means to be like a WWE superstar. She was working with all these young athletes with her camp that she had, and we saw John Cena attend it. She was a perfect person to put Sol Ruka over, and I think everybody enjoyed it. There was a ton of like cartwheels and handstands and springs from Sol Ruka in this match, and I think we're all ready to see her in the main roster. Um, this just felt like right on brand for Bailey, essentially like in this match, and I think everybody definitely enjoyed it. This was a nice long one. It felt like it was at least like a length that was respectable and should have been happening. And then at the end, it was kind of like just like Bailey to get all four of the people, whether they were in the match or just on the outside, like Lyra and the other girl you mentioned, and do like a salute tribute to John Cena. This was for sure my match of the night. My takeaway is let's get Sol Ruka in the main roster. My assumption is if she does come to the main roster quickly, they need a lot of women's tags. So maybe that's why they put her with that girl again, so that they could be a tag. But who knows? And this was my highest rated official match of the night. I gave it a B plus.
Yeah, I thought the end was good. The whole match kind of highlighted how athletic and acrobatic Soul is, and I 100% agree. I think she should be moving up to the main roster. However, I don't think she should be moving up to the main roster with Zarya as a tag. They have enough women's tags right now. They just threw together a whole bunch of them. I think she should come up and make a run at Jade Cargill. I think that would be super fun if we're going to fantasy book something. I want to see Soul build up a little bit and then move to SmackDown. I think they need to bring a bunch of women up from NXT to SmackDown. And that actually leads me into something I've been kind of thinking about anyways, is I would love to see NXT do an invasion of SmackDown. And I would love to see that move a bunch of NXT talent to the main roster because I think SmackDown is very much lacking in talent right now. I think there's a lot of people on Raw, and that SmackDown's kind of lacking. So that would be something that'd be super cool to see. Her to come up, I think have a big main roster feud. I'd be all for it, man. And yeah, dude, I'd be right there next to you getting those Soul Snatcher shirts. So I thought with the finish though. I thought the Soul Snatcher should have been a cleaner finish. Bailey was kind of like sliding out of the ring, and Soul had to grab her and yank her back into the middle in order to get the pin. I thought that could have been just a little bit cleaner. So yeah, I gave the match a B. I actually think my match of the night was the next one to come up though, which we had the big tag team match, which I had heard reported online that it was going to be for the belts, but I don't think they ever actually said it was in the
Yeah,
match.
I don't think it was officially for the belts.
Yeah, I don't know where I'd seen the report. I guess it was just rumor. I thought it was saying it was official from the WWE, but apparently not because we didn't even get the match announced right off the bat after their entrances, which I want to call out. I thought it was super cool that Javon Evans and Leon Slater both got their full entrance out to ring rather than doing what they've been doing whenever they get two singles together for a tag team, which is kind of doing like a half intro of each, which is what Dragon Lee and AJ Styles kind of got. Well, AJ got his full music all the way down because he's AJ Styles, but uh, yeah, I thought it was cool that they both got to do a full intro, really highlight them as the younger talent. But they started that match off immediately as soon as that bell rang, so it didn't get have much time to get announced or have them kind of sizing each other up or anything. It was off to the races, and man, it was a fast paced match.
Yeah, before I go too crazy into the tag team, I know I'm skipping around here. Two things I wanted to say because you were talking about SmackDown needing more talent. On Friday, we had that little thing where like Rhea Ripley walks by Jade and kind of stares her down. That kind of gave me an indication of like Rhea Ripley going to SmackDown soon. And then another thing I wanted to say about the whole Miz thing was like our truth was basically out, I feel like, if it wasn't for the fans, and we have not really seen him do anything. I feel like part fans and part John Cena influence, and I feel like we haven't seen him do much of anything since he was facing John Cena, except for these funny little bits in the tournament and whatnot. I think that the next year and his activity in the WWE in the next year is going to showcase, is he valued in the company and are they going to work with him? Or is it like we got him back to save face and like he's just gonna sit there for the next year? But do you have any comments on that, or should I just go into the tag team?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good call out. I think other than him coming back, we had the big moment there at Money in the Bank with his return, and then them kind of playing into a Ron Killings character a little bit with little run-in segments or little like tiny matches, really nothing of substance. And they've kind of bounced his character around this year, but other he really got more legs, I guess, when it came to the Cena tournament and the backstage segments. He was never in the tournament, so I mean, happy as I was to see him on the show right now, I think you're right. We're gonna see this next year whether he's gonna be included more in maybe a mid-card storyline involving The Miz or something, or if we're gonna just kind of see him in backstage segments and then kind of sitting on him.
And I hope they don't do
And
that because I think he
I
is
hope they don't
valued.
either. I love Truth, man.
Yeah,
I would love to see Truth and Joe Hendry do something. While Joe's been doing some fun stuff on NXT, I think our Truth would be the perfect person to kind of bring him to main roster and let them both get some looks. I think that would be cool, and I think this could have set up something like that. And maybe for there to be more to this, like Miz Truth Joe Hendry thing of them kind of feuding with the Miz or something. Like they could do something good with like comedy this next year, because I think people really enjoyed the comedic segments that happened this year, and we wanted more of it, and we just weren't getting it.
yeah. I
Especially
feel
after they let Carlito go too. They let Carlito go and they let R-Truth go. And at that time, I felt like they were literally just trying to kill all the comedy out of the show.
Yeah, and I will say that makes sense if they work together because it's two like comedic type things. But I also do want to see a little bit of more serious side to R-Truth. It probably won't happen. And even Joe Hendry too. I think like that's what got him where he's at is his whole thing, and that's gonna continue. But I think as he moves into the main roster, he just got to NXT, so I don't think he's coming to the main roster right now. But or what is it, NXT or TNA?
No, he came from TNA, so he's in NXT now. The only TNA person we had on there was actually Leon Slater, but
Yeah, so I feel like
yeah,
he'll be in NXT for a little bit, but as he comes to the main roster too, like they can't just rely on the comedic thing like forever as well. But I do think
no,
it would be fun to see it.
I agree. I think both of them we need to see more serious stuff out of. And I think the same thing with The Miz. I want to see a more serious like this has been fun with The Miz, like in him being mad and not being included in this. But I really want to see a conclusion to The Miz and Mello. Just I want to see one final conclusion to it. Because I want to see something with Mello and Dragunov. I think it would be really cool. Mello ran out and saved Dragunov on Friday, and yeah, I think don't want them to drag Mello down. I want to see Mello continue onward because he's got a lot of steam right now. So I just want to see them kind of conclude that and give something more serious to the Miz too. But if they were gonna have Joe Hendry in a comedic role, I think while he's on NXT building, having him pop up just for comedic segments on the main roster with Truth or somebody would be like the perfect way to do it in like a backstage. And then once he starts making that move to main roster officially, they could give him more serious matches and kind of play to that more serious side of his character.
For
So I
sure.
think just giving him looks, with the comedic segments. I just don't want to see him, get typecast into that and that just be his sole gimmick. I think that there's a lot more to Joe than that. They just haven't figured it out yet. So, but I think it could be good just for like little bits and pieces and backstage segments for the meantime.
Yeah, for sure. Meantime and between time. I'll get us back on track here with the tag team. Sorry, I got us off right there, but yeah, the tag team was great, and I feel like it should have been my match of the night. We had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Uh, Javon Evans, man, star of the week. Like, super impressed with this guy. Fun to
Bro,
watch. You can tell he's gonna be like a huge superstar, maybe even bigger than like Oba and Solruka and these guys. But I think out of
bro.
all three of them, he's the one that could probably marinate a little bit longer, in like NXT. But big things ahead for him.
Yeah, man, I think you're right on the money there. I think Javon Evans, he's 21 years old. I say yes, let him marinate, but I don't know how much more he's really gonna, not that he's not gonna learn in NXT, but I don't know how much more he's really gonna learn from NXT that he couldn't learn on the main roster. If they give him a proper push here, dude, the freaking stars are the limit. Like not even the sky. This dude is going to be on a rocket. He could be bigger than Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, all of those guys, man. Javon Evans, while we're talking about the future, Oba kept saying the future is now for him. I think that could also be true for Javon Evans. And like you said, Sol Ruka, I think all these people are main roster ready, man. Javon, I think is still very young, but I think that's what plays into it. And while he's got a following on NXT, these last couple weeks, all the looks he's been getting on main roster, the dude is ready. And I think that they've just been kind of testing the waters right now. But that crowd is behind him. The young OG is ready for it, and I want to see him move up, man. I want to see him move up to the main roster, and I want to see him get into that main event sphere, though, which I think is rough because they need to fill some mid card. But I don't want to see Javon Evans in the mid card. I want to see him straight to the top, dude. And he's just got to be able to get out there and cut promos and get the reps in. But everything I've seen from him says he's ready, man.
Yeah, I think unfortunately I do not trust creative with all this influx of stars. There's no way that they'll be able to handle it all, and some of them will just get buried or they'll look like they're important, and then they'll do nothing with them for weeks, and that'll make their start not as powerful. So I'd personally rather them just take their time than add all these people, and I think he's the youngest all of them out of all of these people, so he can probably marinate a little bit longer. But he's gonna be a superstar for sure. So many good spots in this very short match. I feel like it was under 10 minutes. My main takeaway, and I could be wrong, but I felt like it just ended very abruptly after AJ Styles missed a little top rope spot where he tries to spring off of it and falls. It did sound like a pretty hard fall. He obviously got up, walked away, but it just seemed awkward. They didn't show the replay where, like, when it was an actual spot, like what happened with Dominic at John Cena's match, they really like showed Dominic sitting there like writhing in pain after the mess up and like, oh my God, is he okay? Generally, when it's a real injury, or they're scared it is, they don't focus on that. And when it is part of the show, they focus on it, obviously. So I kind of felt like I could be wrong, but it felt like it just ended really abruptly. And if it did, I give credit to like Slater, whoever like jumped on AJ and pulled him over. Like it ended really quickly after. But with his retire coming up, hopefully he's all right and nothing crazy happened. But anticlimactic, like so much good stuff, so many good spots, and then it just ended so quickly. Should have been a lot longer, should have been match of the night, only four matches, all these hours. Again, these matches should have been longer, but very impressed with the individual talent. I'm hoping AJ Styles will not be in this tag team with these belts much longer, especially with this being his last year. Let's see him on some fun runs solo now. Let's keep him safe, not injured. Overall, I give this one a B minus.
Yeah, man. I gave this one a B plus just because I would have gave it an A if I could have with it being match tonight, but I agree. I thought that the entirety of the match seemed too short, has kind of been my complaint with most of these matches. I just wanted more, man. I wanted more out of this show. They could have went another hour. I'd have been fine. Uh they This match, I agree. I think it seemed like it ended a little prematurely. It was a crazy start, super fast paced, really crazy match. People hitting big spots. Dragon Lee looking really good out there too. I think every single person individually out there looked strong. I'm super happy to see Leon Slater getting some looks too, because just like Javon Evans, the dude's 21. He is the X Division champ over in TNA right now. That is the belt that AJ Styles kind of started. AJ Styles was the first X Division champ in TNA, so you're looking at the future with Leon and Javon right now. That is. I'm sure Leon is going to be getting brought into WWE the same way Joe Hendry was out of TNA, and they've only been showcasing him on these big shows like that because they have so much faith that they are going to bring him in. I think him and Javon Evans is going to have a rivalry. I think they're going to be friends. They're going to be rivals. They're going to play off of each other very well for years and years to come, and we're going to see that. But yeah, calling out that the AJ looked like he was getting up to do his phenomenal forearm off the top rope on Leon, and that slip, man, that surprised me. Accidents happen. I mean, they're only human. It happens. It caught me off guard, just because I've never seen AJ kind of slip like that. And yeah, it looked like that fall. He popped up because that is what it is, and I think a lot of that was adrenaline. And yeah, dude, big props on Leon for I think whatever spot that AJ called him on, nailing that 450 swanton. That move is beautiful. I love it, and going for it, dragging him out there and stuff. But the finish was good, but it happened really abruptly, and I think you're right. I think it ended a little too soon, maybe because of AJ. I hope he is not injured. I hope that we're seeing this retirement year from him. We don't want to see him out for part of it or at all. We want to see him get a good retirement run. So yeah, they need to keep him safe, man. But he's going to be out there being AJ Styles, being wild. So it is what it is. I hope that he's going to be back soon, and there's no real injury here. But I saw after the match him having some words with Leon Slater in the corner there. Um, I think really just kind of, saying that that's the next kind of torch passing right there. I think is we're going to see maybe a one-on-one, hopefully between Leon Slater and AJ Styles, and I think we might see that match in TNA. AJ's been going over and doing some work in TNA here this year, so I could see that big match happening in TNA. I think we might have already gotten it earlier in the year too. So I didn't watch it unfortunately, but I think I might go back and check it out now.
For sure, man. Yeah, I think that wraps up Saturday night's main event. Overall, I will give Saturday night's main event, December 13th, John Cena's last match. I'm gonna give the whole card overall a C. I think that there's some big negative undertones. I think it's a shift for the state of WWE currently going into 2026. I think it's the end of an era for a lot of people. We got a lot of positives, but we had a lot of negatives. So I'm gonna give it a C overall.
Yeah, man, I think you could tell from my grading of the each individually match that this one's gonna get a B from me. I enjoyed it. I thought that it did what it set out to do. I thought that it showcased the younger talent. As you can tell, even though we felt like these matches are shorter, we think that the new talent that they showcased here are all pretty much ready. They're gonna be the future of this industry. We're gonna see this moving on now. And yeah, ultimately, I give the whole card a B. I think moving on from this, uh, this whole year has had the undertone of being John Cena's final year, you know? I think we've been playing that the entire tour. So even all these other storylines, everything else going on SmackDown, Raw, and everything this whole year, in the back of our minds, we've always had like this year has been John Cena's last year. And it's over now. So
Next man
Where
up.
does this move on from here, man? Next man up. What's next? What's moving on? Um, I think John Cena's been saying it online that he thinks it's going to be a couple weeks. Everyone's going to forget about him. I don't think that's ever going to be the case, man. I think he has cemented himself on that Mount Rushmore. I think he has cemented himself in the top of that Hall of Famers. I fully expect his induction into the Hall of Fame this next year because he hasn't been already.
Yeah, he just
Um,
signed a contract with the WWE. So I'm
yeah,
pretty
ambassador role. So
yeah.
yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm like it's not going to be the end of John Cena. We're not going to not see him related to wrestling anymore. He's still going to very much be a part of WWE. We could see him coming out in the ring. Dude, could you imagine if he decided to when he wanted to be a general manager, if he gets a, like a free year from acting or something, he gets a little time off and decides he wants to come back in and do some. John Cena, general manager, would be hilarious. The floor's still wide open for him, man. Even if he's not going to have an in-ring um, contract and in-ring presence. I think that we get a little time away from him. I think we just see him in Hollywood for a while, but I think he's going to be back, not in the ring, but in especially involving in the show. So
I don't think we're
I'm
gonna get
looking
him back like in any regular capacity. I think as he gets older, maybe like a few appearances here and there. But I truly feel like John Cena is done. Like I feel like he doesn't even want the crap, and he's always kind of been like that, very like upfront, matter of fact, kind of like socially like awkward, like it is what it is. If you don't like me, kind of deal. Like gives you a lot of reasons to like him, but also gives you a lot of reasons to be like, like what's going on here, kind of deal. But I guess to put a bow on this whole John Cena thing, I don't know if you're down with this, but I want to give a grade of the whole John Cena last time is now tour, if you will, the last year. I think we got a lot of good spots and a lot of fun stuff, but I think a lot of it didn't make any sense. I'd probably give the whole thing like a C minus, and then but there was a lot of fun. Like, do you think you'd be able to say like your top three and top three and least three favorite John Cena last year matches? I think if I had to pick top of my head, man, top three would be hard.
let's
I
let's
think my
look at
go ahead.
you want to how about this? Do you want to just go over the matches that he had this year and that way we can kind of give our thoughts on each one and then pick.
I
That
don't
way
know
we
if I'm
don't
gonna
miss.
be able to remember everyone in detail,
No,
but
I'm pulling them up on Cage Match right now.
well, let me tell you my top, and then you tell me your top. I think my top ones, the what sticks out to me in my head, obviously the AJ Styles match is gonna be probably a number one.
Number
Uh,
one.
I think for me, my second favorite match of the year, I'm gonna say Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena. Not the rematch where Dom wins the belt at Survivor, but the first match on
Boston.
Boston Monday Night Raw. That's gonna be my second favorite. And
Hmm.
I think my third is gonna be a tie between Backlash with Randy Orton and Clash in Paris with Logan Paul. I have to think
Okay.
about that one more, but those are my top three. I guess top four, and my third is a tie. My least favorite is going to be Brock Lesnar at um whatever the hell that mess was, WrestlePalooza.
WrestlePalooza, yeah, easy last place. I think ultimately your top one and your last one are going to be everybody's top one
Yeah,
and
for
everybody's
sure.
last one. I think anyone that doesn't have those two matches at the top and bottom of their card doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Those are easily the best and worst matches of the year.
Those are like extremes that everybody can agree on. And then I think my second to least favorite would be this one with Gunther. And my third least favorite, I don't know. I can't think of another third least favorite right now, but those are my
See,
top three. I think.
that's why I was gonna say, do you want to go over the card? Because there weren't a whole lot of matches this year, and I have some least favorites definitely. But
We can go for it.
how would you have rated his appearance at Royal Rumble? That was started the year off in January.
Man, see, I gotta go back and think about. I was high for a lot of this stuff, man, but uh,
See, we had him at Royal Rumble, okay? we had him at Elimination Chamber. I thought both of those sit probably right around the middle
You know
for
what we
me.
should
I
do?
think they were both really good, but I don't think they were, of course, they're not even one-on-ones. I think that in the my least favorites, one definitely the match with Brock Lesnar. I think is at the very bottom. I think my second least favorite match was probably the WrestleMania match that he had with Cody Rhodes. I did not care for that match. I think everyone intentionally did not care for that match. Didn't like it. And I think my third least favorite match was probably the super short, like 4 minute match that he had with R-Truth. I didn't like it. I thought it could have been more. I thought it was really quick. There was a couple good spots, but we didn't really get a long match out of it. And that was probably my third least favorite. I think my three top favorites, though, definitely AJ Styles. I thought that the match against Dominic in Boston probably is my number three. I think my second favorite match, man, I really liked him and Punk at Night of Champions. I think it's almost a three-way tie between him and Punk, him and Orton at Backlash, and him and Logan Paul at Clash in Paris. I thought all three of those matches were really fun, really good. I think what puts Punk slightly above the others maybe is just I loved the whole lead up with the Dr. Thugonomics Punk, and we had Cena cutting a pipe bomb, and I think that might have been some of the most fun I had out of that entire Cena heel turn was that and him calling out the kid in Brussels. But I think out of the whole heel run, that match with um, that match there with Punk was probably my favorite. Yeah, let's do a end of the year recap of our favorite PLEs of the year, some of our favorite moments of the year. Like, let's just do a whole 2025 and retrospective kind of episode. So, let's see if we can knock that out before the end of the year.
Hell yeah, man. All right, bro. I'm gonna go roll something up and enjoy my Sunday. Put this episode out for everybody. Hope you guys enjoy it. If not, check out the short clips, or we're gonna break this down into segments as well. Leave us some comments. Anybody that listens, what do you want us to talk about? What are your thoughts on all this? And yeah, I'll let you close it out, man. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man. Say good smoking. Happy Sunday. Let's recap tomorrow after Raw.
All right, peace.